Rick Sanchez might be the smartest man in the multiverse, but even a genius this reckless has come dangerously close to death, more times than you think. From suicidal moments to multiversal collapses, these are the times Rick nearly died. Let's dive into the chaos. The first episode where Rick was totally helpless is A Wrinkle in Time. In the episode, Rick paused time for 6 months just to fix the Smiths' broken house after crazy party in the Ricksy Business episode of the first season.
It's Jessica! Kick his ass, Brad! Kick his ass! Kick his ass!
With the help of Morty and Summer, Rick was able to fix the house. Rick informs his grandkids that touching their parents could cause a time fracture, since their time hasn't fully been stable.
Touch your parents or we could shatter into countless theoretical shards.
Wait a minute, what?
Away we go!
But here is when things got a little rough. Morty and Summer had a disagreement about who's Grandpa's favorite sidekick, which caused a time fracture when a part of Summer wanted to teach Morty lesson. It turns out Rick left out the part where uncertainty could easily split their time. Rick found out that their time has been split to 2 fractures, which was easy to fix with the time crystal, but Morty and Summer made it difficult since they were not willing to bury the hatchet. They didn't understand the full gravity of the situation that stuck in a fractured time could kill them, so Rick did what every grandparent would do, talk them out. But the situation got worse after Morty being cheeky for a second.
You mean drunk? What's that? You got something to say? Away we go!
Rick wasn't able to restore time after he found out that the Rick wasn't in sync with him. Rick tries to kill the other possibility Rick, which created 2 more fractures during the fight, but Morty intervened. He was certainly tired of the tension Rick was causing and decided to knock him out.
Right!
Holy shit, now what?
When Rick wakes up, he contacts the other Ricks across timelines to coordinate their next move. Moments later, a 4-dimensional being arrives to restore their fractured time.
How you think you gonna move time while you're standing in it, you dumbass 3-dimensional monkey-ass dummies?
The creature fixes it but threatens to imprison Rick in a 4-dimensional prison. A nightmare even for him.
How long exactly do we have to wear these things? They're really embarrassing.
Well, since you're going to time prison, I'd say you can keep them on forever.
So Rick does the most Rick thing imaginable. He splits time into countless fractures and attacks the creature head-on.
Die, motherfucker!
Ow! I'm defeated!
What's happening?
Time is falling apart! We've got to get back to certainty quick!
After knocking it out, Rick scrambles to restore time using his collar. He saves Summer, but when he tries to save Morty, he realizes Morty's collar is broken. Without hesitation, Rick sacrifices his own collar to save his grandson. In that instant, Rick is completely helpless. So desperate he actually prays to God for mercy.
Jesus, please let me live! Oh my God, I gotta fix this thing! Please, God in heaven! Please, God, oh Lord, hear my prayers!
Now that's a little extreme for an atheist scientist. It was clear that even the smartest man in the universe isn't invincible. For once, Rick's intellect and technology couldn't save him. It was his family that did. That moment highlights a rare truth about Rick. Beneath all his cynicism and God complex, he's still human and vulnerable. It shows that despite how much he pushes his family away or acts like he doesn't need anyone, they're the reason he survives, both literally and emotionally. In short, Rick's near-death serves as a reminder that brilliance can't replace connection, and even Rick Sanchez can't outsmart the need for family. But nothing could get deadlier than be an ex to Cosmic Planet. That was the episode, Child Rick of Mort, one of the shows that Rick's genius and arrogance collide with something he can't fully control, parenthood. It all begins when Rick gets an unexpected call from an ex-lover, Gaia, a cosmic planet.
Understand? Isn't it obvious, Morty? I fucked a planet.
She tells Rick she's pregnant, and not just with one baby, but an entire civilization. Turns out, Rick's been busy in ways even he didn't expect. From the looks of his face, Rick didn't want to take full responsibility, but Beth wouldn't let that happen. So, the Smith family, as usual, gets dragged into one of Rick's family emergencies across the galaxy. Rick, Morty, and Summer land on Gaia to find that the planet is literally giving birth to thousands of living beings, the Gaians. Rick immediately starts doing what Rick does best, building. He designs cities, systems, and even education for his new children, while smugly bragging that he's the perfect dad. But of course, it doesn't take long before things go downhill fast. Beth, as always, is fascinated by Rick's genius, trying to bond with him through science and creation. Jerry, on the other hand, feels completely useless. So, he decides to start his own, primitive, tribe with the Gaians who aren't advanced enough to join Rick's city, calling them Jerry's people.
Don't want to camp anymore.
Then why do they not camp?
Because they're bad.
Bad.
Classic. Things spiral out of control when Rick discovers the Gaians weren't actually his biological children after all. Gaia had been with another cosmic being, Reggie, a literal Zeus godlike entity who claims to be the real father. This revelation crushes Rick's ego. The moment is so ironic because Rick, who always claims to not care about anyone, actually seems hurt. When Reggie finally arrives, it becomes a full-blown god fight. Rick versus the real father of the planet's children. The battle is pure chaos, explosions, lasers, and insults flying everywhere. Rick tries everything in his arsenal, but for once, he's completely outmatched. Just as Reggie charges up for the final blow, ready to vaporize Rick once and for all, something comes crashing down from the sky. It's Morty and Summer, who accidentally flew a crashed ship straight into Reggie's head. The impact is massive, a blinding explosion of light and debris as Reggie stumbles backward, roaring in pain. The god collapses, defeated, with the ship buried halfway into his skull. Rick, barely conscious, looks up at his grandkids and actually seems proud. He praises his grandkids.
Kids are my fucking heroes. You saved Grandpa's life. I fucking love you so much.
And for once, you can tell that he's genuinely grateful. The family regroups, bloodied and exhausted, and takes off to avoid Gaia's rage. On that day, Rick Sanchez, the smartest man in the universe, almost died, and it wasn't his genius that saved him. It was his family. Without them, he'd be gone. But if Rick's death wasn't certain, let's check the next episode where Rick in his first time experience a broken heart with his girlfriend Unity. Well, in the episode Autoerotic Assimilation, the first episode in the second season, Rick and his grandkids traveling in space. When suddenly Rick received a distress call from a ship of aliens. Rick was excited about it since he'll get the chance to loot from the ship, but it turned out that aliens were still on the ship. The traumatized aliens sought help from Rick to save them from being mentally controlled by an entity, which was Unity. In the moment, Rick did not realize that it was Unity until she called him.
Called it.
Hello, Rick. Long time no see.
Unity?
Rick and the kids flew to Unity's planet. Rick and Unity had a time together while Summer and Morty went on a tour. Summer was not cool with the Unity taking over the mind of a civilization. Later in the episode, Unity lost control over a small part of the civilization, which caused a riot endangering Summer and Morty.
Hey, wait! What race are you guys?
We're neither! See?
Yeah, take my word for it. We just have regular nipples.
Hey! These two freaks have no race!
Unity rescues Summer and Morty, explaining to them that she's just lost a little control while having fun with Rick. Summer and Morty got fed up and desperately wanted to go home with Rick. Summer in the first time tried to convince Rick to come home with them not as a favor but out of love.
Okay, well, what if you did it for me? What if you came with us as a favor to us? Because you love us.
What? Dumb. Bye.
But Rick is having the time of his life with Unity, so Summer and Morty went home through Rick's portal. Unity seeing that Rick hasn't changed, therefore Unity left leaving a note. Rick returns home with down face, which was made Morty and Summer curious, since they thought Rick was having fun with Unity. Rick was badly hurt that Unity left him once again. In pain, Rick headed to his garage to sadly end it there. But he luckily passed out right at the moment the machine powered up, saving his life once again. This shows that love can make the smartest man in universe can be vulnerable. But things couldn't get deadlier than 6 straight days of adventure. This is the episode, Rest and Relaxation, and things got brutal right from the start. It all begins when Rick suddenly drags Morty out of school for what he calls a quick adventure. But with Rick, nothing is ever quick. What was supposed to be a simple mission turns into 6 straight days of chaos, an intergalactic nightmare that pushes both of them to the edge. Their mission was to retrieve the plasma shard from the deadly planet in the Abadango cluster, which seemed like another same old adventure to Morty. But it wasn't just a simple task. The episode opens with Rick and Morty running for their lives, dodging energy blasts, explosions, and giant alien monsters that look like they came straight out of a nightmare. The tension doesn't let up. Every second feels like life or death as they fight their way through an entire alien hive. In a rare moment of teamwork, Rick and Morty manage to blow up the hive and escape, earning themselves a reward from the alien species they just saved. But the victory feels hollow. Both of them are shaking, covered in slime, and clearly traumatized.
Almost died.
So you agree?
Fuck yes, this was insane. That was pure luck. I was not in control of that situation at all.
Rick, for once, admits it, that he literally got lucky surviving that ordeal. That single line says it all. We've seen Rick fight gods, time itself, and even death, but never have we seen him this rattled. His voice cracks, his confidence fades for a moment, and you can tell something inside him has snapped. It's one of those rare moments where Rick Sanchez, the smartest man in the universe, looks genuinely human. The adventure may have earned them the plasma shard, but it cost them their sanity. It's no wonder that after this 6-day disaster, Rick decides they both need a break, and finding a better way to relax by visiting an intergalactic day spa.
stressed out creatures for 20 minutes and then puking them up. My whole body's like a baby's ass.
But that's not enough. Did you know there is another episode that Rick's desire for entertainment nearly kills him? We are talking about the Purge. In the episode Look Who's Purging Now, Rick takes Morty on an adventure, when suddenly, a space bug crushes on the windscreen, so Rick decided to get some wiper fluid on the nearest planet. They arrive on a distant alien planet where, once a year, the entire population participates in a brutal event called the Purge, a night when every crime, including murder, is completely legal. Rick is amused by the idea, but Morty, of course, is horrified. Morty wants to leave immediately, while Rick, being Rick, sees it as the perfect chance to observe culture, or more accurately, to enjoy the chaos.
Rick, unlock it! Just a second, Morty. Oh, look at that sunset. Stop screwing around!
But when the Purge begins, everything turns into blood-soaked madness. People are slaughtering each other in the streets, and Rick's curiosity turns into entertainment. Meanwhile, Morty heard a girl scream and asked Rick to help her. Rick had no choice than to help since Morty blackmailed Rick about his behavior.
We got the wiper fluid, we watched them kill each other. We're leaving. Help me save that girl, or I'm telling Mom you brought me here. You little turd.
He treats it like a game, until it's no longer funny. The girl tricked Rick to help her granny so she could steal Rick's space car.
Get out! Get out!
Hey, whoa!
Get the fuck out of the flying machine!
Rick got shot in the liver, leaving Morty defenseless in the middle of nowhere. Later in the episode, they survive the apocalypse by evoking a mechanical battle suit armed to the teeth, letting him save the villagers. But the power quickly gets to Morty's head. In a shocking twist, Morty goes on his own killing spree, purging anyone who crosses him. It's one of the first times Morty truly loses control, becoming the very monster he despised. In the end, Rick helps the poor overthrow the rich, only for the cycle to start again moments later. Once the purge ends, the oppressed immediately become the new oppressors, proving Rick's point that no matter how hard you try to fix society, chaos always finds a way back. It's one of those rare moments that exposes the cracks beneath his arrogance. For once, his genius and gadgets aren't enough to keep him in control. He's bleeding, outnumbered, and completely surrounded by bloodthirsty villagers. In that moment, you can almost see it, the flicker of panic behind his eyes. He laughs it off, of course, because that's what Rick does. But the truth is, for the first time in a long while, death feels close. In the end, Rick doesn't die that night, but he comes close enough to feel his own mortality breathing down his neck. It's in those fleeting seconds of weakness that you see the real Rick, not the god, not the genius, but the lonely, broken man who hides behind sarcasm and science because it's easier than facing what he's become. But what if you can predict death itself? That was the episode. Edge of to Morty, Rick Die, Rick Pete. It all began when Rick and Morty went death crystal poaching. Death crystal gems just basically show you how you're going to die. Naturally, Morty becomes obsessed with trying to manipulate his future so he can die peacefully in Jessica's arms. Rick, of course, mocks the idea, because who needs destiny when you're the smartest man in the universe? But his arrogance takes a brutal turn when Rick gave the keys to Morty to drive. They wrestled for the wheel and crashed. Yep, the smartest man in the cosmos dies 5 minutes into the episode. But Rick, being Rick, he's prepared for that. His consciousness uploads into a clone body, or at least, it's supposed to. What follows is one of the craziest resurrection sequences in Rick and Morty history. Instead of safely returning home, Rick's mind keeps downloading into fascist clone realities, each more ridiculous and dangerous than the last. Nazi shrimp world, wasp world, even a fascist teddy bear dimension. Every time he tries to escape, something kills him again. It's a non-stop cycle of death and revival that chips away at his ego and sanity. By the time Rick finally makes it back to his original universe, he's exhausted, battered, and broken, a rare sight for someone who usually controls everything. And to make things worse, he learns that Morty's reckless obsession with the death crystal nearly destroyed their world. For once, Rick's usual mix of genius and arrogance isn't enough to save him, it nearly kills him. The episode drives home a harsh truth: even with infinite knowledge, Rick can't predict or control every outcome. It's a reminder that, despite all his technology and bravado, Rick Sanchez is still mortal, still vulnerable. And sometimes, his biggest enemy isn't the universe, it's himself. But there was a time that Rick's family nearly killed Rick because of a wedding. That was the episode, The Wedding Squanchers, one of the darkest and most emotional moments in Rick and Morty history. What starts as a lighthearted celebration quickly spirals into betrayal and near-death for Rick Sanchez. It all begins when the Smith family is invited to the wedding of Rick's old friend, Burr Person, and his fiancée, Tammy. Against his better judgment, Rick disagrees to attend the wedding, even though it was his best friend, Burr Person. Rick hates social gatherings and anything that remotely resembles emotional connection. But the Smith family force Rick to attend the wedding. which takes place on planet Squanch, a bizarre alien world filled with Rick's old anarchist friends from his intergalactic adventures. Everything seems normal: laughter, drinks, and awkward toasts. Even Rick appears to relax for once, enjoying a rare moment of peace surrounded by people who understand his chaotic lifestyle. But the peace doesn't last.
For the Galactic Federation, and you guys are a group of wanted criminals, and this entire building is, in a certain sense, surrounded.
Midway through the ceremony, Tammy reveals her true identity. She's been an undercover agent for the Galactic Federation all along. The entire wedding was a setup. Without warning, armed soldiers stormed the venue, opening fire on everyone. It's a massacre. Bert Person, Rick's closest friend, is gunned down before he can even react. The guests are slaughtered, and the Smith family barely manages to escape. As the chaos unfolds, Rick takes charge, doing everything in his power to protect his family. They jump from planet to planet, trying to find a safe place to hide. Every world they visit is either controlled by the Federation or too dangerous to stay on. The situation becomes more hopeless with every passing second. At one point, their ship is badly damaged, and they crash land on a desolate world. Rick's energy is drained, his tech failing, his mind clouded. He looks at his daughter, his grandkids, and realizes that as long as he's around, they'll never be safe. The Federation wants him, not them, and for the first time, Rick truly accepts it. So he makes the ultimate sacrifice. Rick quietly slips away from the family and turns himself into the Galactic Federation. He walks right into their base unarmed, knowing exactly what's going to happen. The agents surround him, weapons drawn, and arrests him. They locked him in a containment cell deep within a high-security facility, and Rick did not fight back. If you've made it this far, you already know, Rick's story isn't just about adventures through space and time. It's about the cost of genius, the burden of loss, and how even the strongest minds can be their own worst enemy. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to check out my next video, where we dive even deeper into the twisted psychology and hidden symbolism behind Rick and Morty's most shocking moments.